Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 4 in the series where we just saw Dreamizer getting a little bit lucky in the last game and finding a very good timing as the game does get underway. And so far, it looks like it's going to be a blue Terran player. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name correctly since I don't know Korean. Is it actually, I said I wasn't going to try to do it, so let me not try to do it. Meanwhile, he will be playing against Dreamizer here on Antigua Shipyard. This is going to be the I believe the World Cyber Games version or the ESV version of the map, meaning that there are no gold mineral patches. There is a low ground supply depot, and I do believe that it is forced cross spawns, as we are now seeing an Overlord make its way across the map. So a Terran versus Zerg, the first non-Protoss versus Zerg matchup of the day, and probably the last cast for today. There is more games in this series so far, so I don't think any one player has won more than 2 games yet. And we'll see what's going to happen as Dreamizer now looking for his second win. But I believe that this map was chosen by the Terran player, and Antigua Shipyard perhaps a little bit of a neutral map. I would say that we are going to be going into an early barracks supply depot being built off back over here. Interesting position on the barracks, as it will not be part of a wall off, and we'll see what's going to be happening in the game. Now we are going to be going into easy 3 bases for both of these players, as a drone now able to sneak around once more. Really what the drone is looking for is whether or not gas is being harvested and being established. A little bit of a dance inside the vents. Still no gas has been placed down, as it is a double racks on the front door. And with 2 racks on the front door, this is really going to be a telltale sign that there's going to be a lot of early pressure. Dreamizer will most likely have to cut some drones for Zerglings in order to fend off this attack here, as Marines are already being trained. Now, we are going into an orbital command. This is only a 2 racks so far. I don't see a 3, 4, or 5 racks coming in, as is rather common from, say, a particular VVV member. If you guys do watch Wednesday Night StarCraft. If you don't, it will be starting up again in a couple of weeks. Now, Dreamizer is going for that spawning pool. I like this decision not to get gas. He doesn't need gas at this point, as he will be fighting on creep most of the time. He's going to be on the defensive end. And with the additional resources, the additional minerals, he'll have more queens and more Zerglings. Marines and SCVs now making a move across the map. The Marines are not upgraded, obviously too early at this stage in the game, but 3 SCVs are trekking alongside those Marines. Those SCVs with those rocket booster packs moving slightly faster than those Marines. The Marines trying their best to keep up, as more and more Marines still funneling across the map. 1 SCV is getting there. You can see that a spine crawler has been placed down. Zerglings gonna meet and greet that SCV on creep, get it destroyed in just a matter of seconds, as we now see 2 more barracks being established in the middle portion of the map. Alright, this is a huge risk, but there are going to be a lot of Marines here, and we'll see what's going to happen. The Zergling going to try to sneak by. The Marines are going to catch this Zergling, destroy it before anything happens. And the double barracks, this 4 racks pressure here may be a little bit much. There is a drone now trying to sneak in. Will this Marine be able to shoot down the drone? He would if he was paying attention, but no. Now a supply depot has been built, and it will be a complete wall off. The Marine, did it take a point of damage? No, it did not. More Marines still making their way back around, as the Marine gonna hunt for the drone. No, it looks like he's gonna leave the drone there, as barracks 3 and 4 just get done. We are going into a lot of spine crawlers, and if the Terran player saw last game, he knows that Dreamizer is a rather defensive player early on. You saw that Dreamizer got somewhere in the realm of 7 to 8 spine crawlers early on to defend against those stalkers, and now with spine crawlers and banelings, Dreamizer is going to be in a very good position to fend off this attack. Banelings, the bane of Marines, essentially. 1 Zergling getting picked apart there. More and more Zerglings still trying to hunt and find where the rest of those units are, as we see an extractor being built rather late, and now just going to cause lots of problems. Unit count, 18 Marines against 22 Zerglings. We'll see who will come out ahead as more and more Marines are still being added into the field. More SCVs being brought over. This may be an all-in, and this all-in attempt may actually work. Banelings have not been morphed in as of yet, I don't think. No Banelings on the field. Dreamizer needs to be careful. We'll see what's going to happen. We are now going into even more and more Marines. SCVs now making the trek over. There is a lot of SCVs here. 10 SCVs. I believe 18 Marines, a rather large army that has a lot of hit points. And here we go. 4 Banelings now trying to be trained. Is it going to be enough? Spine Crawlers, Marines now charging up the ramp. The Banelings are getting destroyed well before. And now the Marines are just going after the Banelings. The Baneling Cocoons, another one getting taken down. Marines now battling up against drones. The drones have to be, or the SCVs and the Marines have to be careful as the Spine Crawlers are really dealing the majority of the damage. And wow. I gotta say, Dreamizer easily took care of what would normally be a rather destructive army. Iljime, or yeah, sorry for mispronouncing your name. The Terran player had was just going up against too many Spine Crawlers. Even though a Baneling never hit, it still did it still did force the Marines to try to come up the ramp and fire down and shoot down those Banelings. Those Banelings had 50 hit points while in that cocoon form, and may also have a bit more armor perhaps, and with a bit more armor absorbed a lot of that Marine damage. Double Spine Crawlers now on the ramp here, but Dreamizer in a very good position to just transition now. Marines once again trekking back across the field. Drones now making their way up to the high ground, making sure that they don't lose all the drones on the low ground if an attack does occur. There is some creep tumors over here. A third base was not established. So with that, the Marines are just going to have to charge up the main ramp. Zerglings now running around the far side, still has no ideas that there are barracks in the center portion of the map. The Zerglings going to perhaps reveal themselves, yes, just a little bit, as the Marines unable to catch up to those units. There is one bunker with 2 Marines inside. The Zerglings going to perhaps run around here. Yes, able to do exactly that. Take down a Marine and now try to charge up that ramp. Not going to be able to do so. There's only one lone SCV harvesting by himself, and now perhaps going to get some damage onto the orbital command before the Marines do finish and clean up the rest of these Zerglings. But Dreamizer still with a slight food advantage, but a huge worker advantage. 40 drones versus 20 SCVs, utilizing the high movement speed of those Zerglings to force these Marines out of position. The Marines have never been able to really engage at any point. Like, or in StarCraft, like many RTSs, unless the unit is doing what it is designed to do, it is absolutely useless for you. Drones, the reason why that they are so successful later in the game or early in the game is attacking or defending or doing nothing. They are still harvesting minerals. Meanwhile, those Marines have been sitting around trying to mass up a large enough army and not really able to do much. And Marines are now trying to battle it up against these Spine Crawlers. The Spine Crawlers taking a lot of damage so far. Zerglings now going to try to engage. The Banelings may be able to find some of their targets, and yes, do get off a lot of hits there. And wow, Dreamizer at the 11-minute mark in clear control of this game. 47 drones versus 28 SCVs. And with no sign of him slowing down, Dreamizer now knows that he can just simply wait in order to macro up to 200 food and then start crashing into the front door of Terran, especially if he's able to limit this third base. No siege tanks as of yet. We are now finally getting up that factory. No tech lab on any of the barracks. It looks like the barracks may be trying to establish a front door. Yes, a front door will be built here. But this may all be too little, too late. The harvester advantage, 64 versus 35. 3 bases versus 2. Normally you would say that is even between Terran and Zerg, but the harvester count really shows a different story, as we are now going into double starports for perhaps double reactor medevacs. Add-ons now finally, oh nope, trying to re-establish that front door. Perhaps an add-on or a supply depot will be added here. And that is going to be the weakest building in the wall, as Zerglings still are now finally able to finish off these rocks. Zerglings are not upgraded though. They are going to be getting armor upgrades, and that's an interesting choice. Armor upgrades before weapons upgrades. Zerglings you normally don't really worry about them dying. You want them to deal as much damage. But I like that choice to get armor, as you don't know if your opponent does already have siege tanks with siege tech. We now have double starports with double banshees being trained, and also getting an engineering bay by the Terran player Dreamizer, currently with a very large economic lead and food lead, 45 supply lead. Meanwhile, 79 drones versus 44 SCVs. Armies are similar in size, as the Zerglings go to town and take down one SCV. Baneling movement speed, pathogen glands, level 1 weapons upgrade, burrow being researched. Banshees still being trained up. We'll see how many Banshees that Jimmy tries to do or tries to build before he engages with them. And those Banshees, if they can focus down a Baneling, would be very, very effective. If they're able to take down Banelings, perhaps being able to prevent them before they detonate within splash range, that would really help out. And we'll see what's going to happen next. At this time, Dreamizer could consider taking up a third base, but it is rather risky. Terran players normally like to get siege tanks up on the high ground here. He is going to try to establish this base over here instead, taking down these rocks, a very natural choice. And as Antigua Shipyard can easily turn into a 4-base race. If Dreamizer gets up to 4 bases and then is able to crash up against the wall of this barracks here, the timing should be just that. All of these mineral patches are going to be into the low 3 or low 400s or high 400s by the time this hatchery is done. Now, SCVs still being trained. Not much really going on. A bit of a reprieve in the battle. Dreamizer currently setting up another hatchery here, and I'm liking Dreamizer's strategy. He's not trying to rush things. He's trying to set himself in a position to win, as opposed to flat out winning. That is perhaps one of the key mistakes that a lot of new to StarCraft players try to do. They try to win in an all-out front at the very early stages in the game, and it does work out in the bronze, silver, and gold leagues, perhaps even into platinum leagues. But once you get into diamond and masters, if you do not understand the game theory about everything, fungal growth could be coming in. Yes, we do get a fungal growth there. Another fungal growth coming in, followed by another fungal growth. Infested Terran's now going to be added. There's a new fungal growth. And so far, these Banshees, they are cloaked, but they are revealed because of that fungal growth and easily taken out. Overseer, without the pneumatized carapace, quickly gets taken out there, as Dreamizer now turns his food advantage into about a 50 food advantage. Hatchery here at the 3 o'clock position is now done. At the 10 o'clock position, now done. Getting up spore crawlers and spine crawlers. Very, very natural choice here. 3 spine crawlers, 2 spore crawlers. Banshee's not going to be able to do very much. Marine's not going to be able to do very much. You need to attack with an all-out force now if you expect to take down any of these hatcheries. Dreamizer also has a burrowed Zergling right here, and that is going to delay the expansion and also reveal when the expansion is taken. And Dreamizer sitting on a decent number of minerals and gas. Meanwhile, the Terran player sitting on a large amount of minerals, and I really question the fact that he doesn't have any reactors on his barracks. Without the reactors on his barracks, he's not going to be able to really macro up that heavily, and with 1,400 minerals, he could easily have 28 more Marines and close in on that food gap. Zergling is now looking to swarm in here. Looks like they'll be able to crash in. Fungal growth now sitting on across a bunch of Marines. Another fungal growth could be coming in. Banshees are now coming in as well. Another fungal growth comes in, and so much fungal growth, so much damage. And this is one of those situations where some people said that, no, the new fungal growth, I want the old fungal growth, but the new fungal growth does so much damage so quickly. It is quite hard to argue. I do not. We could have one more fungal growth, but it doesn't matter. Terran player says GG, knowing that the game is pretty much over. That is a rather interesting sight there, when Marines are stuck and surrounded by Baneling cocoons. I can't imagine a more painful experience knowing that in the course of 14 seconds, if I don't kill every last one of those banelings, I'm gonna die. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the game.